For a small country in the heart of the Balkans, Serbia has always looked to the skies with a mix of pride, pain, and ambition. From the glory days of the Yugoslav Air Force to the devastation of the 1999 NATO bombing campaign, air power has defined Serbia's identity and survival. Today, more than 2 decades later, the Serbian Air Force is standing at a crossroads. The world around it has changed. New drones, fifth-generation fighters, and digital warfare dominate the airspace. Yet Serbia, driven by its legacy, geography, and determination to remain independent, is quietly preparing to reforge its wings. This is the story of the future of Serbian air power, how a small Balkan nation is rebuilding its air force, navigating global politics, and crafting a strategy to survive, and possibly thrive, in a region where the skies are always contested. The legacy, what Serbia inherited. To understand where Serbia's air power is going, we must start with what it came from. The Yugoslav Air Force, JRV, was once one of the most capable air arms in Europe. It fielded hundreds of aircraft, MiG-21s, MiG-29s, homegrown G4 Super Galeb trainers, and Oreo strike jets built in cooperation with Romania. It was a symbol of Yugoslavia's independence from both NATO and the Warsaw Pact, capable of domestic aircraft production and complex aerial operations. Then came the 1990s. The Yugoslav wars, sanctions, and the breakup of the Federation shattered the Air Force. By 1999, when NATO launched Operation Allied Force, Serbia's air defenses and air fleet were outdated, outnumbered, and overwhelmed. The bombing campaign crippled air bases, command centers, and radar networks. By war's end, Serbia's air force was a fraction of its former self, but not defeated in spirit. That memory, of fighting the world's most powerful alliance with limited tools, remains etched into the psyche of Serbian pilots. It taught Belgrade 2 lessons: never rely entirely on foreign suppliers, and never underestimate the value of air defense. Those 2 ideas shape Serbia's modern vision for air power today. The present, a force in transition. Fast forward to today. The Serbian Air Force and Air Defense, RVIPVO, is small but capable, and it's modernizing fast. Currently, its backbone consists of around 14 MiG-29s, upgraded with Russian support. These jets, acquired through donations from Russia and Belarus and upgraded domestically, form the front line of Serbian fighter capability. While not cutting-edge, these MiG-29s, now fitted with better radar, electronic systems, and missile compatibility, have extended Serbia's air defense reach well into the 2020s. Supporting them are G4 Super Galeb trainers, Oreo ground attack aircraft, and an expanding fleet of Chinese CH-92A armed drones, alongside locally developed Pegasus UAVs. On the surface, this looks modest. But beneath it lies a clear strategic pattern. Serbia is rebuilding in layers, upgrading what it has, buying selectively from multiple partners, and developing domestic capabilities to reduce dependence. The country has learned to balance between East and West. It buys arms from Russia and China but trains with European partners. It seeks modernization without political subordination. This multi-vector strategy is what gives Serbian defense policy its distinct shape. Strategic doctrine, defense through deterrence. Serbia's defense strategy is built on deterrence, not domination. The goal is not to fight wars across borders, but to make any attack on Serbian airspace so costly that no adversary dares to attempt it. This philosophy explains the emphasis on integrated air defense. Serbia operates modernized radar systems, short to medium-range air defense units like the Panzer S-1, and seeks to acquire longer-range systems, potentially including Russian S-300s or Chinese HQ-22s. But deterrence doesn't end at missiles. Serbia recognizes that a credible fighter fleet is essential for sovereignty. The MiG-29s serve this purpose for now, but they are aging. The next generation of aircraft will define whether Serbia can remain secure in a rapidly evolving aerial environment. That leads to the biggest question: what will Serbia fly in the next decade? Future fighters? The choice is on the table. Belgrade has made no secret that it intends to replace the MiG-29s within the next few years. The debate over what to buy has become a geopolitical litmus test. Will Serbia look east to Russia or China, or west to Europe? The Russian path, Su-30SM or MiG-35. For decades, Serbia's air force has been trained on Soviet platforms. The natural successor to the MiG-29 would be the MiG-35, a modernized, multi-role fighter with advanced radar, electronic warfare suites, and extended range. It would offer continuity, allowing Serbia to leverage existing infrastructure and pilot training. Another contender is the Su-30SM, a twin-engine heavy fighter capable of long-range missions and air superiority dominance. In many ways it's a more powerful option, but also more expensive and maintenance-intensive. The obstacle? Sanctions and geopolitics. The war in Ukraine and EU sanctions make large-scale Russian arms deals diplomatically and financially difficult. Spare parts, financing, and insurance all become risky. Serbia must tread carefully not to isolate itself from Western markets. The Chinese option, 10C. In recent years, China has emerged as a major defense partner. Belgrade's purchase of CH-92A drones and FK-3, export variant of HQ-22, air defense systems shows growing trust. The logical next step could be the J-10C, China's advanced multi-role fighter comparable to the F-16. For Serbia, the J-10C offers affordability, performance, and access to cutting-edge sensors and weapons without the political strings attached to Western systems. However, adopting Chinese aircraft would require new infrastructure, new logistics, and deep technological integration, a costly transformation. The Western option, French Rafale or Gripen C/D. There's also the Western path. Serbia has explored acquiring French Rafales or Swedish Gripen C/DS. Modern, NATO-compatible fighters with proven reliability. The Gripen in particular fits Serbia's doctrine. Cost-effective, easy to maintain, and capable of operating from short runways, perfect for Serbia's geography. It also offers the advantage of neutrality. Sweden is not a political rival and has previously armed small air forces seeking independence. However, buying Western jets risks backlash from Russia, which remains a key energy and defense ally. Serbia's challenge is balancing modernization with diplomatic equilibrium. As of now, all options remain on the table, but the direction Serbia chooses will define its strategic identity for the next 30 years. Unmanned future, drones, AI, and networked warfare. No discussion of modern air power is complete without drones. Serbia has embraced unmanned warfare more rapidly than almost any other Balkan state. The CH-92A drones acquired from China are capable of surveillance and precision strikes. They've already been integrated into Serbia's defense network. Meanwhile, local firms are developing the Pegaz UAV, a homegrown reconnaissance and combat drone designed to operate independently or in coordination with manned aircraft. Looking further ahead, Serbia is exploring drone swarms, electronic warfare integration, and even AI-assisted target recognition. These systems are designed to complement manned jets, not replace them, multiplying Serbia's situational awareness and strike options at a fraction of the cost of traditional fleets. This approach mirrors global trends. Smaller nations leveraging low-cost, high-tech unmanned systems to offset disadvantages in scale. If fully realized, Serbia's drone doctrine could become its most potent equalizer, giving it eyes and claws across the Balkans without risking pilots or bankrupting the state. Air defense, the invisible shield. Serbia's Air Force is inseparable from its air defense network. The integration of radars, surface-to-air missiles, and command centers forms the backbone of its deterrent strategy. Recent years have seen Serbia invest in multi-layered defense. Panzer S-1 systems for close-range defense. FK-3, HQ-22, systems for medium to long-range coverage. Domestic radar production for continuous surveillance of Balkan skies. This blend of Russian and Chinese technology creates a hybrid network difficult to penetrate. While not invincible, it can impose serious costs on any aggressor. Belgrade's strategy is clear. Even if it cannot achieve total air superiority, it can deny it to others. This anti-access/area denial, A2/AD, approach ensures that no foreign aircraft can operate freely over Serbian territory. Industry and autonomy, rebuilding the factories. Beyond jets and missiles lies a less glamorous but equally critical pillar: industrial autonomy. Serbia inherited parts of Yugoslavia's once proud aviation industry, including factories in Užice and Pančevo that produce trainers, engines, and components. In recent years, Belgrade has sought to revive this base through modernization and partnerships with Chinese and UAE firms. The goal is self-reliance, to produce spare parts, maintain aircraft locally, and eventually design new platforms. The Pegaz drone project, the Oreo 2.0 modernization, and the potential revival of the G4 Super Galeb trainer all reflect this ambition. An indigenous aviation base would insulate Serbia from sanctions and foreign dependency, ensuring its air force can sustain operations even in a crisis. Training and technology, the human factor. Machines are nothing without pilots. Serbia has invested heavily in pilot training, flight simulators, and cooperation with foreign air academies. Young pilots are trained not only in classic dogfighting but also in digital warfare, EW awareness, and drone coordination. Simulator centers in Batajnica allow for advanced combat training without wear on aircraft. Partnerships with Hungary, the UAE, and France have expanded Serbia's exposure to Western tactics. Meanwhile, air cadets learn programming, cyber defense, and systems integration, preparing them for the hybrid nature of 21st-century air warfare. Serbia may not have hundreds of jets, but it is cultivating something equally vital: a new generation of pilots and engineers who can think beyond legacy doctrine. Strategic outlook: the next 10 years. By the early 2030s, Serbia's Air Force could look radically different. A realistic future fleet might include 12 to 16 new generation fighters, Gripen, Rafale, or J-10C. Modernized MiG-29s kept for secondary duties. A robust UAV fleet combining CH-92 as Pegasus drones and future loitering munitions. Layered air defense integrating FK-3s, Panzers, and new radars. Such a structure wouldn't make Serbia a superpower, but it would make it unassailable within its region, capable of deterring aggression, projecting limited power, and commanding respect. Economically, the challenge will be maintaining this force sustainably. Serbia's GDP and defense budget limit rapid expansion, so the modernization must remain incremental but continuous. Politically, Belgrade must balance East-West relations carefully. Each fighter jet choice carries diplomatic consequences. The future of Serbian air power, therefore, is not just about engines and missiles. It is about identity and alignment. The symbolism of the sky. For Serbia, the sky is more than territory, it is memory and pride. The pilots who flew against NATO in 1999 are national heroes. The aircraft lost then are still remembered, their wreckage turned into symbols of resistance. Rebuilding air power is not just about defense, it's about sovereignty and self-respect. Every modernized jet, every new radar, every drone factory tells a story. Serbia may have been bombed, sanctioned, and isolated, but it never lost the will to fly. As the 21st century unfolds, Serbia is quietly returning to the skies, not to dominate but to endure. Its strength lies in adaptability, in turning limitations into innovation, and in the determination to control its own airspace on its own terms. The horizon ahead. The future of Serbian air power will not be measured by the number of jets on a runway, but by the independence of the choices that put them there. Whether it's Russian engines, Chinese sensors, or European avionics, each decision reflects Serbia's pursuit of autonomy in a world that constantly pressures small nations to choose sides. In the decades ahead, the skies over the Balkans may once again echo with the roar of Serbian engines, but this time, powered by technology, pragmatism, and a vision born from history. In the great game of regional power, Serbia's message is clear. You may control the ground for a time, but we will always return to the skies.